I really don't know where to begin. You know that this is a video I did not want to make because every time I saw the clip of Harry and Meghan dancing salsa, I couldn't stand for like more than 3 or 4 seconds. Salsa is something very dear to me, merengue as well. And looking at them, I can understand Harry has absolutely zero sense of rhythm. I'm gonna play the video in a minute. But Meghan is, well, she at least tried. But it was just embarrassing to watch. It's just like this image. We're gonna watch the video in a minute, but I wanted to just open with this image that portrays perfectly what we have seen in this Colombian tour, and I will be sharing with you other highlights that I haven't mentioned in the past couple days. You see that Harry, well, he is with his closed stance, with his hands over his genitals, and with his usual lost stare, as in, I don't know where I am. His hair looks nice this time. That's great. I'm sure that he brought a stylist to the trip. And Meghan, well, Meghan is in her medium with her beloved mic. But let's go for the painful. Let's go for the pain right now. So let's start with Harry. I will be talking about Harry, who is sometimes on and off the screen. I don't know. This is so hard. God, I can understand. This is something that you either have it or you don't. Some people can learn to do it. There are many good salsa teachers out there. I understand that Meghan took salsa classes in college. There are like photos out there of her on those classes. She's got the basic moves. I'm going to talk about her right now. She's got the basic moves, but according to the music, I guess that it's still a bit rusty. If you don't dance in some time, well, you're going to lose the practice, especially the salsa, which is a bit more, I would not say complicated, but it's a bit more, it's a level higher in difficulty than merengue. It's not that easy. This music, in fact, I don't know if they could call it salsa. I don't know if there was a variation of in Colombia. You know that in Latin America we have various rhythms. And salsa, you can have a very slow salsa and a faster salsa, just like merengue. And well, this in the case of Meghan trying to nail it, I will give her a 5 out of 10. I could say 5 out of 10. It was really painful to see, but I have been there as well. I had to learn, and it is not easy. You have to go step by step and understand where do your feet have to be at any given time, and of course how to move your whole body at the same time. Maybe she was let's say doing her best, and well, yes, sort of. And Harry, well, Harry absolutely lost. Harry absolutely looks like a colonizer right there. Pure colonizer energy. Has no idea. I know this because I could look like European, but no, I'm Latino. That's we have all the mix of everything in our blood, so I got a bit of the rhythm. That is one of the perks of being born in Latin America. But again, well, this I just needed to address this. I knew that you wanted me to talk about this, and I already got that out of my chest because it was so hard to watch. And I guess that it was also hard to watch the fact, need to give you some stats about this. I haven't mentioned this. I've made a couple video analysis of Meghan and Harry's, getting cozy with the locals. But right here, $500,000 are being paid by Colombians with their taxes. I think this was higher. I think it was more than $1 million. But I think it was the first day to transport Francia Marquez and Meghan Markle in Bogota. 8 latest model Toyota trucks with 5-point armor. Well, you already know, I made a video in which we know that the Vice President of Colombia has been, sent messages more than a couple times. Messages in lead. 24-hour ambulance, 50 escorts, 9 motorcycles, 15 police officers. And meanwhile, the children of Choco and Cauca are dying of hunger. And to what? This was at one of their appearances that we had a footage, and there was virtually no people waiting for them. Again, this was barely minutes before they arrived, and it was not that much necessary. I think people don't really care about Meghan and Harry in Colombia. Some of them, I guess, that they could, but not as much as to have all that security. Maybe all that security is because, they were going with the BP, and we know that they were going with the BP because, well, she invited them to the country to all this smoke screen about what was going on. But this image was from that first day. You remember that Harry was a bit sweaty and Meghan was also sweaty. Not gonna give details again. And we can see that the event was, going on. It was developing. And how many seats could this have? I think this could have like 150 seats or 100 seats. I think 150 would be correct if we think about the whole width of the auditorium. And I could say that less than half of the seats were occupied. And this was the first day of Harry and Meghan in Colombia. Again, nobody was paying attention to them. It's a bit embarrassing, right? You're the Duke and Duchess of Sausages. You're going to Colombia, a new country for you. This is an exciting event to be there with the locals, right? And you know that you could have at least 200 fans that want to see you. And no, you couldn't even fill 100 seats. I would say that there's barely 100 people in there. And 100 people, this is important, 100 people counting the press, which is there because, well, it's the press. And who is the rest of the people? Well, they could have given away seats and just screen whoever was going to attend. If they wanted to fill the auditorium, it wouldn't have been that hard, but they didn't. And it is pathetic. And this is so funny to see, to imagine the hit to the hierarchals' egos, especially Meghan's. You know that since Meghan's ego is bigger, then, well, it is easier and to hit, right? It's an easier target. And this, you know that I don't talk about the kids that much, but if Meghan mentions Lily, well, I guess it's fair game. The Duchess also said that she encourages Lily to not suffer in silence or even sit in silence if in those moments you want to be heard. How old is Lily is my question. 3 years old. 3 years old. I don't know. I don't even remember what I was doing at 3 years old. I don't know. But who can have and suffer in silence? What are you talking about? Sometimes I think Meghan is trolling all of us, and it's not working because I don't feel trolled. I think she's trolling herself in so many ways. But the first one, And the most important, who is being trolled this time, is thanks to Ice 12, Nigeria versus Colombia. What's next for backseat Harry? Harry, why are you always at the back? Why aren't you side by side with your wife, with your spectacular, beautiful wife? Why? In Colombia, there's Meghan, there's the VP's not husband, and then there's some space for Harry in there. No, Harry, this is not it, man. Why do you keep doing this? And this, Meghan Small shared this image. Self-proclaimed strong feminist Meghan Markle requires the help of 2 women to step down a step, while her husband, Prince Harry, was shoved to the back again. And yes, Harry, as usual, looking miserable. And why did Meghan need help to go down one step? Well, it's a bit tall. The step is like around what, 30 centimeters. That is like 10 inches, 11 inches. I don't think Meghan has ever had any problem with 10 inches, but it seems that she needed some help from 2 women to be able to handle those 10 inches. Anyway, and the dance of what presented to the Duke and Duchess of Sausages by the Vice President does not exist in any of the indigenous cultures of Colombia. It was an improvised invention according to organizers. I think I made this joke already, that this was to defend Colombia from the bad juju that the oracles were bringing. That's why this was the first step. This was the first step to, clean up from the bad juju of the oracles. It's important when you invite someone to your house and you don't want all those bad energies hanging around. You have to clean when they come and after they leave. Maybe the guy is still dancing. Maybe the guy has to dance for 3 more days to clean up all the bad juju. And speaking of some things that we should be talking about in the coming months, I already told you that the cooking show is not moving forward. We haven't had any sort of trailer or images or nothing of the sort. And according to the sources, this needs some editing and they need like months for editing this. And so it will be premiered in March 2025. I don't buy it. I think they are going to, I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe Meghan will agree at some point. Maybe she will say, okay, I will do it because I have no other way of like escaping from this contract again. The contract, we don't know the details, if it was upon creation of content. If you don't create the content, then you don't get the money. So if they can get away with being rent a royals and Meghan can have a nice time hugging, people's husbands or not husbands in those countries, well, I guess it's a better business than Netflix. You can have a good time. So I wanted to show you this. This is when things work out. They made a documentary about the Beckhams. Netflix made a documentary about the Beckhams, and now they are making some kind of spin-off. People want to know more about the Beckhams, and that kind of narrative, kind of aesthetics worked very well, very natural, generated that awesome meme of be honest. And now in the most posh news ever, a Victoria Beckham documentary series is now in production. The series will follow her reinvention as a creative director of her own brand, offering exclusive access to Victoria, her fashion and beauty business, and her never-before-seen archives. Let's see how this goes. I just hope that she goes for the same dynamics that they went on their mutual documentary. That was part of the magic. So let's see how it works with this time with her going solo this time, because I guess the documentary is about her reinvention. Maybe Meghan could have had a documentary about reinvention. I always mention that video that I made a live reacting to that from According to Taz, Reinventing Meghan. Big shout out to Taz, by the way, in which she outlined all those steps that Netflix can just like grab Taz's video as a template and make a documentary about it. They would have that whole transformation from one stage to another. She could do that. Victoria Beckham is making a documentary about her reinvention, and her reinvention was how many of them? 1 or 2? Meghan has like 6 or 7. Meghan has much more content than Victoria, but you need to put in the work. But again, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. My Royal Roguies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and remember to subscribe to my email list and download my free 100 body language tips in the description of this video. Remember the most important words: much love and bliss.